everybody, and welcome back to the Discerning Otaku, where it is now time for part 5 of my fall 2023 anime first impressions. This is probably going to be the last big video, as most of the shows outside of a few Netflix exclusive ones have actually aired their first and in a lot of cases their second videos. So I'll be able to have most of this season that I'm checking out actively reviewed, more or less. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it, and we actually get into some isekai in this episode. A lot of it has actually been held off for some reason, not as much this season as there were in the past. So without further ado, we're going to start with Butareba, the story of a man turned into a pig. So basically, this is about a man who eats uncooked pig's liver and then finds himself isekai'd into another world, into the body of a pig, where he meets a telepathic girl named Jess. Um, Really not much to say about this one. For me, it's kind of a throwaway show. I really tried to enjoy this one, as I am a fan of isekai, and even with some of the stranger shows, such as Reincarnated as a Vending Machine or certain things like that, this does not have kind of the charm of that show. By any means necessary. The person who is reincarnated is, for lack of better terms, a pig of a person. He's extremely crude at almost every single level in the show. I didn't find him enjoyable to listen to him talk. He was perverse in ways that I don't feel most normal people would be. And honestly, because he's describing himself as an otaku in the show, I think that it kind of gives a bad impression on the otaku culture. Where there are some, ecchi people and, hentai people and things like that, but he kind of pushes it to almost a slanderous realm, where instead of just being, huge fans of something, he just kind of tries and takes all of the negative tropes and rolls it into one person. For me, I would say avoid this one. It's not particularly that funny. The animation's fine. I had no qualms with that. But beyond that, it's not a very interesting story. The characters aren't particularly likable, and I didn't really find many redeeming points to the show. So from there, we're going to go on to the second isekai. It's called I Shall Survive Using Potions. This one's about Nagase Karu, a 22-year-old office lady, suddenly finds herself reincarnated into another world. She's accidentally killed by a guardian or a god figure, and then is allowed to reincarnate into another world. There were some interesting things to this one, such as because of the mistake of her dying, the god actually allows her to say goodbye to her friends and family in a dream to explain to them what happened so they wouldn't be sad. She's then transferred over, and the goddess of the secondary world basically gets bullied into giving her everything she wants, largely because Kaoru has a angry scowl face, which is brought up multiple times. I think this one is aimed largely at female viewers. It has a strong female protagonist. It pushes more towards the cutesy aesthetic, but I actually really enjoyed it. It is following most of your isekai tropes through and through. It does seem to not take itself so seriously. It does bring up a lot of the things that you're going to see in modern isekai, but I think it kind of did it in a fun way. Not so much of a fresh way, but a fun way. I enjoyed the first episode, enjoyed the second episode. So it's one that I'll probably keep up with. There aren't too many isekai this season that I think are really worth watching, but this one seems like it's kind of gonna hit at least a little bit of that isekai yearn. That's something for the another world aesthetic. Don't get me wrong, I'm reading a lot of manga, so it's not like I'm short on my isekai. But as far as animation goes, I think so far this one has been one that I actually did really enjoy. So it's I Shall Survive Using Potions. Up on this list is going to be the Idolmaster Million Live. So I am very, very late when it comes to the Idolmaster and a lot of the idol slash music genre shows. Bang Dream, Love Live, Idolmaster have been ones that I did not get into when they came out. This is me just thinking that they weren't really for me. When I was younger, it was more one of those, I want to watch all the shonen battle shows with the school arcs and the beach arcs and things like that. And so I really just shied away from them. As I've gotten older, I've really gotten into a lot of the writing. The music has been very uplifting. They've been very positive shows. Most of them are built around the characters having self esteem issues, and through friendship and through perseverance, they've found ways to get through them. And I think, in all honesty, it's a fairly positive message to include in certain shows. A lot of anime kind of gets, looked down upon for it. Oh, it's just people fighting, or it's just perverse, or things of that nature. And if you choose to look at it that way, then you could be very correct. But in watching some of these more innocent shows, some of these shows that actually try and push a positive message, I think it's done quite a bit. For me as a fan, it's something a little bit different. And I know that it took the Love Life offshoot last season for Garnt to actually even care about the idol animes, and there's still a lot of people that won't watch them. But for me, coming into them very, very late, I do have a plethora of things I can go back and view and learn and see things about the characters. And before the Idolmaster Million Live actually aired, I went back and watched a few of the episodes from the original season, and I was actually fairly impressed. It's done in a really interesting way. The characters are all very unique, they're all very likable, they're all very interesting. So, getting a little bit of background knowledge before I went into the Idolmaster Million Live, I actually did really enjoy it. The music was good. It's your standard idol fare. It's nothing too crazy. The characters are all very likable. The story's fairly, common. Just recruiting new idol members, starting a new idol group, getting to know the characters, getting to know their likes, dislikes, things like that. It's pretty common fare. It's nothing spectacular or crazy, but it is done in such a way that it's very enjoyable. Character design's fantastic, animation fantastic, music's good, and you can definitely tell that it is a huge multimedia project. There's a lot of money behind it because everything is done in a basically perfect way. It's not something that was thrown together with just a small team. It's something that was definitely planned and pushed through with the highest regards for the actual product line. So I definitely enjoyed the Idolmaster Million Live as my full foray into the Idolmaster series, and I'm looking forward to continuing on with this show. It's a nice little thing to just sit down, turn your brain off, and just enjoy it and see the music and stuff that they perform. It's fun. Moving on, we get to the mecca of ecchi and harem shows this season. The 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. Basic premise, Rentaro Aojo was rejected 100 times in middle school. Every time he went to confess to a girl that he liked, was rejected. Goes to a love shrine and prays, and lo and behold, the extremely weird deity of the shrine pops up and tells him that due to him watching anime, he messed up Rentaro's soulmate application when he was born and accidentally gave him 100 soulmates. So through the show, he will have 100 girls fall in love with him. And if he rejects any of them, they die. So it's going to be one of those premises where it's going to turn into the ultimate harem show for this season. It's exactly what you think it is. It's ecchi through and through. You're going to have all of your stereotypes of girls. They've already showed the tsundere. They've already showed kind of the yandere. And so it's the stupid show. It's this season's girlfriend, even though the second season of that is currently airing, which I would be watching, except I already finished the manga, so I'm just going to kind of put that on the back burner for later. But it's fun. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's fun. It's it's not a normie show. It's one of those shows that if you understand the genre, go into it. If not, pass it by. But it's been fun so far. It's just very self-aware. It's very goofy. But yeah, it's been fun. Next up, we have Stardust Telepath. Konohoshi Umika is a high schooler who's extremely bad at communicating verbally to people. She is pretty much determined that she is not meant for the Earth, and she wants to build a rocket and go to space and be friends with aliens because she thinks that they would be more friendly towards her. It's super cute. Everything about this show is super cute. You have your characters very much like the main character in Bocchi the Rock. It's almost impossible for her to talk to people, and lo and behold, she wishes upon a shooting star, and the next day an alien comes to her school and befriends her. Um, it's just really well done. The animation is absolutely phenomenal. The character designs are clean, crisp, and just really, really well done. If you're looking for another one of those anxiety-ridden female protag shows, I think this is going to be a good one for you. Um, the writing is humorous. There are some laugh out loud moments. It seems like it's going to be a very heartwarming show. I was very impressed with Stardust Telepath. I wasn't expecting too much from it, but with about a quarter of the way through the actual first episode, I was genuinely kind of pleased that they're putting out more shows like this. These weird, goofy slice of life shows that don't really fall into one genre, but kind of straddle different genres, but kind of do it really, really well. I hope that it keeps up with the caliber that it's at right now, but that remains to be seen. So we'll just have to see as the season goes on. Next up, actually last on this list, is actually going to be the first Netflix show that has actually dropped. They've dropped all 12 episodes. I've watched about halfway through, and that show is Good Night World. So the only way I can really describe this one is going to kind of be cringe edgelord sword art online. So they don't necessarily get stuck, at least at the beginning, in the virtual world, but if they die due to a certain creature, it can affect them in the real world. It's basically about a super team called the Akabane family within game that is not really who they seem. It follows the main character within that group, Ichi, who is basically a neat shut-in, and basically the real world for him is horrible. It's a terrible place. He hates everything about it. He escapes into this game. So you have your back and forth between the real world with him and his family, then you go into the virtual world with him and his family within that world as well. I kind of already know how this one ends. I kind of delved into the spoilers from the manga. I'm not particularly impressed with how it ends. There are twists that are very easy to understand where they come from. The first twist you find in the first episode and second episode, they're very easy to call. It's very tropey. If you watch it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The twist at the end of the show, well, end of the manga, is once again not it's a very M. Night Shyamalan twist where it's like, oh, this was very dumb. Of course I wasn't going to figure this out because it makes no sense within the story to even do this, but you apparently did this. I don't really recommend Goodnight World. But as I've gotten older, I tend to shy away from a lot of like the cringe edgelord shows. Like I just they're not really that thing for me. I'm not a chuny, so I don't really have a lot of those like hand on face where you're talking about like the dark power wells within me. It's kind of gotten tired and old. That's why I didn't really enjoy Eminence and Shadow. And this one, I get the feeling I'm probably going to drop as well because it's honestly just really not that interesting. Everything within it's been done before, and everything else that it's trying to do is kind of just very cringe. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. The character designs leave a little bit that you want a little bit more. They're not as clean and crisp as I'd like them to be. The animation is fine. The fight scenes are okay. There's nothing particularly horrible about any of that. But for me, it's probably going to be a pass. Like I said, I've made about halfway through the season already, and it's kind of been a struggle getting through it. So for me, I'd probably avoid it unless you're really looking for this style of show. So with that said, I think this is going to wrap up part 5 of my fall 2023 first impressions. I know this has been a prolonged series just due to the fact that there were so many that came out this season that I've checked out. I will probably do a shorter video at some point doing quick highlights on the sequels that I'm checking out this season, because there are quite a few sequels that I'm actually keeping up with, unfortunately, for my free time. But if there's anything that you're checking out that I missed, I mean, it's been 5 videos, at least 5 to 7 shows every video, so it's almost 30 shows. What are you guys checking out? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything that you're really enjoying this season so far? If so, leave a comment down in the comments section. If you're so inclined, like and subscribe. Helps me out. Keeps me the motivation to do more of these. And yeah, I'm going to try and do some more themed videos. The horror video went out Friday the 13th. I was really proud of that one. Really deep dived into the horror realm, which is a secondary love interest of mine outside of the anime manga scene. So that one was fun. But with that, I'm going to sign off for today. And as per usual, watch more anime, read more manga. Guys, have a good one.